Hello, English students. Earlier, I went over with you the importance of the written word and why it's important that we study it and better ourselves through communication. Now, one of the faults that people have, especially when it comes to essay writing, is that they worry too much about the minimum word count or the minimum page length. When they do this, they often come up with wordy essays that just have words thrown and strewn all over them just to make sure that they meet that minimum word count or minimum page length. And this is a horrible idea. Please, when you write your essays, do not even worry about the minimum word length or the minimum page length. The reason for this is kind of simple. When you write, you want to be purposeful and you want to be effective in your writing. You want to make sure that you don't have wordiness. You want to make sure that you have words worth saying and using. If your words are worth saying and using, you're going to be able to effectively communicate your message. But if all you're worried about is making a minimum word count, you're going to be throwing words in there that are totally unnecessary. Now, what I would like you to do when you write your essays is I would like you to pay attention to your message. Pay attention to the thesis statement, which is the core and guiding light of your message, and make sure that everything relates to that. When you write your essays, make sure that you follow your main points, and everything should relate back to the thesis statement. Other than that, nothing else matters. Once you write your essay, what you really should be doing is you should be going through it and editing it and revising it by cutting out words and cutting out unnecessary phrases, unnecessary statements, and anything that does not relate back to the thesis statement. A huge trap that a lot of students fall into is that they want to meet the minimum word length. Well, guess what? If you have an essay, especially a long essay, that's full of filler words and garbage and stuff that doesn't relate back to your main point or your thesis statement, it's garbage. It's junk. It's going to be a horrible essay. I don't want to read it. I don't want to grade it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. So please don't turn that essay in. What I do want to see is I want to see an essay that effectively and concisely argues your point, describes your point, tells me what you're talking about. I want you to be concise and succinct in writing your essay. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, I want you to be intentional about your writing. Make sure that you follow your main points, describe your main points, support your main points. And once that's done, don't do anything else. If you've noticed that your essay does not meet the minimum word count or does not meet the minimum page length, ask yourself if you have truly, fully developed your argument or your claim so that way you can support it properly. Generally speaking, minimum word lengths and minimum page lengths are done because the instructor believes that an effective essay should take about that long to write, if it's done well and supported well. That's where the minimum page length and the minimum word count actually come from. However, if you can write a well-developed essay that fully explains your point and effectively gets a point your argument, you don't necessarily need to meet that minimum word length. It is better to have a fully developed, concise, effective essay that is shorter than the minimum word count than it is to have an essay that meets the minimum word count or exceeds it, but is garbage and full of fluff. So when you write your essays, cut out the filler and keep to the core of your message. That's going to create a better essay. In turn, I'm going to have a better experience reading it and grading it, and it's going to end up being a better grade for you. So, how do I know whether or not I should, stress about it? Well, if the minimum word length is 1,000 words, and you've only written 200 words, you're way off. You probably haven't even gotten close. You need to reevaluate what it is you're writing about, reevaluate your main points, reevaluate the support that you're using and the explanations for your claims and your support that you're giving. However, if the minimum page length is 1,000 words, if the minimum word length is 1,000 words, and you've already written 800 words, you're probably pretty close. If you go through your essay and you realize if I add anything more to this, it's just going to be, garbage. It's going to be filler. I'm just going to be putting words in here, just put words in here. Don't add it. Don't even bother. It's probably close enough. It's probably good enough. Turn it in as it is. If I think you could add more, I'm going to leave that in your comments, and you're going to have another chance to write that essay over again if you need to. Remember, each essay, you get one chance to rewrite it. So, even though I know that this explanation has been very long-winded and very wordy, let's break it down to its core. Let's break it down to how I should effectively communicate this message to you. When you write your essays, keep them concise. Focus on your message, your main points, and make sure that everything in your body paragraph and your conclusion points back to your thesis statement. Once you have fully developed your arguments, shown your claims, developed your explanations, and shown why you're using your support, that's all you need to do. There's no reason to add anything extra that doesn't belong there. So please write short, concise essays rather than long, drawn-out essays. But the important thing is to make sure that you fully develop your arguments, explain them, and support them. I look forward to seeing better essays coming from you guys. Please follow that reasoning. Please follow that train of thought when you write your essays. And please do not feel that you have to write any more than is absolutely necessary. In the next video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about cutting the wordiness out of your essays if you happen to write too much. But for now, if you feel like you've written enough, stick where it is. Thank you.